is a broad point to be made in that connection, namely that what we are experiencing tonight, both in the United States and in the world at large, has a lot to do with some fundamental misjudgments that have been made by those in power in Washington in the course of the last several years. We have a foreign policy which has isolated the United States, which has turned many of our friends away from us. We have had a foreign policy which involved us in a war of our own choice, a war that was not necessary, a war that was justified demagogically and, sad to say, deceptively, a war that has cost us many lives, that has cost many lives in Iraq, and a war, it's worth noting particularly tonight, which has cost us a great deal financially. The costs of that war have been running at approximately $12 billion a month. That's close to a week. That's close to $50 billion. Over 5 years, we have spent more than $1 trillion on this war. These are staggering costs, and it's worth reflecting on that fact, given the sums that are being bandied around right now regarding the so-called bailout or economic recovery. Compounding the problems of today, namely the conjunction between a foreign policy that's been self-damaging and an economic crisis, the outcome of which is uncertain, is a further aspect of the current reality which is cause for concern, namely that the existing leadership in the United States is approaching its term of office. It's going to be leaving shortly. And its standing and capacity to influence national policy is relatively low. We have seen a dramatic example of that today. But despite the pleadings of the President of the United States, of the leader of the Republican Party, 2/3 of Republican congressmen in Congress voted against that which the President and the current leader of the Republican Party were advocating. The paradox is that 2/3 of the Democrats voted for presidential proposals, 1/3 opposed. And the outcome, of course, is a policy paralysis which is going to endure at least for a few days more, hopefully no more than that, but the costs are quite enormous nonetheless.